The College Football Playoff Selection Committee made it official on Sunday afternoon. The Final Four are number 1 LSU, number 2 Ohio State, number 3 Clemson, and number 4 Oklahoma. The Buckeyes and the original Death Valley Tigers will play on December 28th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. They'll play at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona in the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. The Bayou Bengals will play the Sooners at 3 p.m. the same day. They'll play at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta in the Chick-Fil-A Peach Bowl. Now, for the matchup of Ohio State versus Clemson. Quiet as it's kept, Ohio State is 24-25 all time in bowl games, but that goes out the window in 3 weeks' time. This is not your daddy's Ohio State Buckeyes team. This Ohio State Buckeyes team scores an average of 48.7 points per game, and they tend to separate early, outscoring opponents 231-37 in the second quarter. They dropped 76 points on MAC champs Miami of Ohio, skunked Cincinnati 42-0, hung 73 on Maryland, stamped 48 on Nebraska and 52 on Northwestern, dropped 56 on Rutgers and Michigan. And then they doubled up Wisconsin for their 38th conference title and third in a row. The Buckeyes' 13 wins are tied for second most in a season. Only the 2002 national champs and the 2014 national champs have more wins. The Buckeyes have allowed an average of just 12.5 points a game. Ohio State picks up an average of 7 yards per play and 531 yards of offense per game. J.K. Dobbins has busted up opposing defenses for 1,829 yards on the ground, including a 211-yard avalanche against Michigan for an average of 6.5 yards per carry and 20 touchdowns. Sounds like a Heisman candidate to me. Justin Fields has been lethally efficient. He's the first quarterback in the last decade to toss 40 touchdowns with just one interception. He's completed 208 of 308, 67.5% of his passes for 2,953 yards. His passer efficiency rating is 190.28. He's also rushed for 471 yards with 10 tutties to give him 50 total TDs this season. He needs 5 to break Dwayne Haskins' Big Ten record for touchdowns responsible for in a season. He got his knee bent in a direction knees aren't meant to bend against Michigan. He went into the medical tent. He came out with a brace on his left knee, went back out onto the field because he's a football player. He took the snap, rolled left on his bad knee, and tossed a 30-yard dart to Garrett Wilson's hands at the back of the end zone for 6. That's a Heisman moment. If Fields is the chef cooking, wideouts KJ Hill, Chris Olave, Benjamin Victor, Austin Mack, and Wilson are the servers. That group has combined for 176 catches with Hill leading the charge. He's got 51 catches for 569 yards and 10 TDs. Kicker Blake Hallbell is 10 of 12 on all field goals with a long of 55 and a perfect 83 of 83 on PATs. But that's just the offense. The Ohio State defense is the real animal here. The Buckeyes are holding opposing quarterbacks to a nasty 50.6% completion percentage. They've allowed just 1,925 yards through the air on 360 attempts. That's 96 yards more than Dobbins has rushed for on 77 more pass attempts. That Buckeyes secondary is led by Jim Thorpe Award finalist and cornerback Jeff Okuda, and his unit has allowed just 7 passing touchdowns all year. Okuda leads the Buckeyes with 3 of the team's 15 INTs. Okuda told The Athletic he makes a habit of taking in a banner at Woody Hayes Athletic Center. It's the one that says CB. On it, you'll see names: Marshawn Lattimore, Eli Apple, Gary and Conley. There are others. There's no reported way to get on the banner, but Okuda figures he knows how. Be one of the best. Be one of the greats. At Ohio State, that's just the standard. This is the place where 4 defensive backs have been drafted in the first round in the last 3 years, and Okuda's career has been all about working to this moment. He was a 5-star recruit, the best cornerback in the 2017 class, and the number 8 player overall in it. He's one of the rare jewels who chose to leave the Texas regional footprint to go where Denzel Ward had been taken 4th overall and Chris Gamble played both ways. It's also where his late mother, Maria, wanted him to attend school. She battled lymphoma for 15 years. Her homegoing came in January 2017. She never got to see her son play as a Buckeye. He was on campus in Columbus for just a week before he helped lay her to rest. It is from her that he gets his strength. It is because of her that we get to see that resolve and character displayed. This season, he leads a studded defensive group and has been pivotal in their statistical turnaround from a year ago under first-year coordinator Jeff Hafley. He is tied for second in the Big Ten with 3 interceptions and 4 pass breakups for 7 total passes defended, along with 25 tackles. His play has allowed Ohio State's defense to have the nation's number 2 ranked unit against the pass, allowing an average of just 148.1 yards per game and just 8 touchdown passes. Only 4 opponents have passed for more than 200 yards against the Ohio State Buckeyes this season. After making his first career interception in a win over Miami of Ohio in the 4th game of the season, Okuda had 2 interceptions the next week in a 48-7 win at Nebraska. He's made at least 1 tackle in 9 of 11 games this season and also has 2 forced fumbles. Forget that he has 3 interceptions this season. Remember that he didn't have any before it. Forget that he's had this amazing year. Remember what he had to do just to get here. The Bucknuts front 7 is where you'll find out if your offensive line has got any. Most don't, not against this unit. Linebacker Malik Harrison leads it with 69 tackles, including 16 for loss, 4.5 sacks, 4 pass breakups, 2 fumble recoveries, and 1 quarterback hurry. Add to this, Zach Harrison has 9.5 tackles for loss, and Baron Browning has 9 for loss. But what you know is what it is. And what it is the Predator hunting. Predator's name is Chase Young. The 6'5", 270-pound destroyer of worlds has accumulated an astounding 21 tackles for loss and a school record 16.5 sacks, 6 forced fumbles, 6 quarterback hurries, 3 pass breakups, and 1 blocked kick, and a partridge in a pear tree. Find the Predator on the line of scrimmage, and you'll find out where the crime scene is. Hafley's boys have accounted for 25 takeaways against a schedule that included 13 FBS opponents, 4 teams that played for conference championships, 3 straight top 25 opponents to end the season, and 2 conference champions. The Bucknuts are more battle-tested than a vanilla Destiny Guardian cheesing Atheon off the ledge in the hard-raid vault of glass. That one's for you, Matt. I'm sorry, I love playing Destiny. I can't wait to get back to it after football. But Dabo Swinney's Clemson Tigers have done nothing but roll to a 28-0 record dating back to last season. The knock on this squad is something almost completely out of its control. Its schedule. To which I'm the Leonard Huff to your Gus Cantrell yelling, "Scoreboard! Scoreboard!" Y'all made this argument last year. And all the Tigers did was slam the Golden Domers through the cathedral and hand Nick Saban the worst L of his entire career at Bama in the national championship game. This year, the original Death Valley Tigers have won their last 8 by at least 30 points. They have made like Cheap Trick and surrendered no more than 20 points in any game all season. Buckeyes Award winner and linebacker Isaiah Simmons leads Brent Venables' crew. He's made 93 tackles, 7 sacks, 6 pass breakups, and 2 interceptions. Clemson ranks number 1 in scoring defense, first down defense, passing yards allowed, passing efficiency defense, and total defense. The Clemson defense has allowed just 10.6 points a game this season, while the offense has put up an average of 46.5. Travis Etienne has accounted for exactly 1,500 yards on the ground, 115.4 a game on just 180 attempts. That means Etienne averages 8.2 yards per carry. Behind him, Lynn J. Dixon has quietly averaged 6.1 yards per carry on 102 rushes. Trevor Lawrence has played his best ball since the midway point of the season. He ranks 7th nationally in passer efficiency rating at 173.5. He's completed 68.8% of his passes for 3,172 yards and 34 touchdowns and 8 picks. The Tigers ranked third in first down offense, fourth in scoring defense, third in total offense. You can do that when you've got T. Higgins, Justin Ross, and Amari Rodgers out there catching passes. The Trinity has combined for 134 catches and 25 touchdowns. But Higgins and Ross are the focus. Higgins has caught 52 passes for 1,082 yards. Ross has caught 55 for 742. Add to this, Etienne has caught 2 more passes than Rodgers. So we're going to get Higgins versus Okuda, Young versus the entire Clemson offensive line, Etienne versus Malik Harrison, and a pitcher's duel of the number 1 and number 2 players in the 2018 class, Lawrence versus Field. For many, this is the de facto national title game, and both squads feel slighted by the College Football Playoff Committee. And they've got an argument. Ohio State whipped the number 8 team in the country in the Big Ten title game and might be one of the best teams in the history of the sport. Clemson is the defending national champ, and because it bears repeating, 28-0 dating back to last season, but nobody gives you respect in this game. And they don't call them turnovers. They call them takeaways. You want respect? You go out and take it away from the other guy. I'm excited. December 28th, 8 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Central Time in Glendale, Arizona at State Farm Stadium in the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. Respect will be paid. Deuces.